Hello guys, so today we're doing a Panter y Marca Registrada stream in Ferris, Texas. We're gonna be there today in La Plaza Manuel, no hype, no caballos. Let's get started. You see my phone roll? Turn my phone. My old phone roll. My old phone, give us my old phone.
Hello, how you doing?
There is a there's one tornado. Cool.
Meteorologists observe troubling signs, aggressive atmospheric fronts, and unusual instability. On April 27th, the atmosphere burst open, unleashing over 200 twisters from the void. What happened is it was a perfect recipe for a weather alert nightmare. They tore through the southern and eastern U.S., from Texas to Pennsylvania. First responders who were here were so busy pulling the living from all of this debris, they were forced to more than dead. And that's how bad this is. You can hear the sound of smoke detectors in the distance, but no one's here. There's the smell of death. Homes are pulverized. There is a church up there that is just now a concrete slab. You can't even see where the wood and things that made up the church are.
In less than 60 seconds, the tornado had destroyed half the homes in town. The strongest tornado to hit.
More like a shadow following the main storm, some kind of echo. Within minutes, the funnel stabilized. It turned into a full-blown atmospheric predator. Touch ground. Check the tail coming again. Oh, look at Marca. It's on the ground. It's hitting the ground.
More than 50 years.
These are the most devastating storms and tornadoes this community has seen since at least 1974. For 4 days, a storm of biblical scale swept through the region. Nearly 360 tornadoes carved a path of destruction. Textbooks would later refer to it as the 2011 super outbreak. The huge outbreak of tornadoes in late April 2011 was so bad that it earned a special name, super outbreak of 2011. Only once before, April 1974, did an outbreak get named a super outbreak. Locals barely had time to catch their breath before the dust even settled. Tragedy struck again on May 22nd, 2011. Joplin faced the costliest tornado in modern U.S. history, touched down, and changed everything. How did it happen? It started like a postcard spring morning. In northeast Joplin, families gathered to celebrate graduation. Laughter in the air, hugs all around, talk of futures just beginning. But there was something hidden, something no one saw unfolding. 190 miles to the west, the sky was starting to stir. Meteorologists were on high alert, watching every signal. 1:30 p.m. Tornado watch number 341 was issued. The probability, 15%. For a town that had heard it all before, such warnings didn't sound like much. Nothing new. Just another routine alarm. People were simply exhausted from living in constant survival mode. Unfortunately, familiarity dulls our instincts. Waiting can be a risky habit. 4 p.m. A thunderstorm appeared on radar. It rapidly intensified into a supercell. Then it merged with another, forming a spiraling vortex, thousands of feet tall. Air began to spin like a drill. A mesocyclone locked onto Joplin like a target. 5:09 p.m. The National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for Jasper and Newton counties. The countdown began.
Here in western Joplin, so that's looking to the northwest. As we mentioned before, a high precipitation supercell. So that means you're not going to be able to see a tornado. If there, in fact, is one on the ground right now, it looks like we just had some reports of a thunderclap.
5:17 p.m. The warning was updated. 28 sirens wailed across the city. Emergency alerts echoed on radio, TV, and weather channels. This time, the storm would teach a harsh lesson. Sirens aren't always heard, especially with windows closed. The hills and valleys created sound distortion, while rain and hail further masked the threat. A 2012 study, Paul Steiner's, found why the 2011 Joplin tornado had so many fatalities. 10% of residents of the 5,000 people were unaware of the warning. Of the 90% who did good, 84% took the NWS alert seriously. 77% said they headed to the safest place they could find. That's the tornado siren. Man, look at that. Oh, that's not good. 5:29 p.m. On meteorologist screen, the hook echoed in crystal clear. Strike was inevitable. We got some information on this one. Let's go to the first alert off the radar. Galena is reporting trained weather spotters in Galena are reporting now sightings of funnel clouds. The tornado is landfall on Joplin's southwest side.
One of their two flash but there's on California.
That would appear to be a power flash. That could be from a lightning strike, but that is the portion of the storm that we have been concerned with.
Tornado
sirens once again going off in Joplin. Those are definitely power flashes that we are seeing on the ground. TV networks and phone lines were going down. There was no way to carry calm professionalism anymore, and no need. What they saw was terrifying. In moments, the studio was filled with voices of anxiety and fear.
Take cover.
Yes, please.
Right now, I'm telling you, take cover. Right now. You have a tornado on the ground.
This is a tornado. Yeah, this is a very dangerous situation. We cannot stress this enough. If you are in Joplin, please take cover. Then the broadcast cut out. Darkness begins to swallow the city. 5:37 p.m. Just 3 minutes later, the tornado slammed into St. John's Regional Medical Center. Inside, over 180 patients and medical staff. They received a warning. They followed the protocol. But time was not on their side. Hospital right here cannot take any patients because the hospital has no power. It was hit very, very hard. You can see nearly every window in the hospital has been damaged. The roof severely damaged. Every vehicle in the parking lot is a total loss. They've taken all their critical care patients to a neighboring hospital. That hospital cannot take any more patients other life-threatening injuries. The tornado ravaged the hospital, knocking out the main power and the backups. 5 patients and 1 visitor died on the spot. More followed in the days ahead. 5:39 p.m. Greenbrier Nursing Home. These would become the most harrowing minutes of a national tragedy, all within the walls of one building. It was a place for those who had already weathered their storms in life, and now it stood directly in the path of another. Inside, around 90 people, elderly residents, visitors, nurses. The staff reacted quickly to the warning, guiding everyone into the interior hallway. They did everything right. Still, nothing is ever guaranteed. The hum turned to a growl, the growl to a roar. The building trembled and collapsed. 21 lives gone in seconds. 5:40 p.m. The tornado reaches Joplin's downtown core. Homes are wiped off the map. A security camera captured the street disappearing, frame by frame. But the storm was only gathering force, charging toward Joplin High School. Several wings of the school vanished. Surveillance footage caught the moment wind tore through the hallways. Windows exploded, walls caved, ceilings crashed down. Had graduation not been relocated to a university campus miles away, it might have been the funeral of 400 more lives. Days later, pieces of the school were found over 60 miles from the city. I just found happy graduation. I don't know if it's a necklace or what it is, but this tornado happened at the same time that the graduation ceremony was going on here in Joplin. The graduation ceremonies, thankfully, were not happening at the high school itself because the high school was demolished. So one situation after another, there's a story kind of every 5 feet to walk around here. The nearby Franklin Technology Center, the region's vocational training hub, was also struck. Everyone inside during the impact survived by some miracle. 5:42 p.m. Nature's blind fury struck the Harmony Heights Baptist Church. Inside, over 50 congregants had taken shelter, but tornadoes recognize no sanctity. They don't stop for reverence or for human fragility. 3 lives were lost. Their bodies were found beneath the crumbled roof. One of them was the pastor's mother. The best mother a man could ever have. The song that I sang was a special song that she requested that I sang. Just about the end of the solo is when they let us know that we needed take cover. As a symbol of faith and resilience, the church was later rebuilt. 5:43 p.m. The tornado achieved peak intensity, winds between 155 and 224 miles per hour. EF5, the highest on the enhanced Fujita scale. For comparison, a Formula One car hits that speed at full throttle, but here, no traffic, no driver, no finish line, just pure destruction. Tearing up the entire city on the south side of Georgia right now. It's a massive tornado, massive destruction. The storm smashed into the Hampshire Terrace apartment complex. 12 more lives were taken. Dozens more changed forever. Then, like a detonation, it hit Rangeline Road, the city's commercial heart. Stores, gas stations, families out for dinner, children holding ice cream cones. Storm chasers captured the moment on film. Oh, storm shelter! Oh, so you saw that big pathway? Oh, straight through that tree. That's a big pathway. It could be lightning, so it could be like. It's too low to be lightning. Let's go. Oh my god, that's lots of power flashes. You can see it, the shift from thrill to horror. The gut punch of a tour guide shouting, "Get out of there right now." This was no longer a show. It was a death sentence. You can see the walls, you can see the red. Oh, shit. You can see the red. People. Oh, no. Oh, good. Oh. This is bad, really bad. Jesus. There's a monster, this. Oh my god. That's a monster there. In mere seconds, AT&T, Walmart, Pizza Hut, and Home Depot were obliterated. There was almost no way to survive in that area. Cars were wrapped around trees. Others were hurled into nearby businesses, over 200 meters from the parking lot. Metal, twisted like foil. In one car, they later found an empty child's car seat. The driver was never identified. At Joplin's Home Depot, the search and rescue personnel from Missouri Task Force 1 have not found anyone alive. They've only found bodies. The storm still craved human fear. 5:46 p.m., East Middle School. Security cameras recorded the roof being ripped into the sky. Windows exploded from inside pressure. Thankfully, the building was empty. 547 Fast Trip gas station. Customers crammed into the walk-in freezer, practically saying their goodbyes. The audio captured from inside is gut-wrenching, full of sorrow, rage, and courage. The entire building was leveled, but the people inside survived. When they crawled out, the streets that had once raised them were now unrecognizable. What had once been alive with motion and sound was now piles of brick, shredded metal, and the smell of gas in the air. Alright, here's the gas station that we were at. Parked right over there. I parked out the other way. 5:48, the tornado slashed across Interstate 44. In its last somber bout, it flipped trucks like toys, left cars scattered along the way. One eyewitness would later say, "It looked like a giant dropped its fist on the highway. There was a point when the disaster exited the city. But not completely, because under the rubble, voices cried for help. People were trapped. The death toll was still unknown. It was far too early to exhale. Hands were needed. 10 hospitals, doctors, everyone. So the entire city became a volunteer command center. Help poured in from neighboring states, from the north, from the south, with no orders, just human instinct. The tornado outlined a quarter of Joplin on the map. 4,000 families lost their homes and the years of life within them. 3,500 more homes were severely damaged. Over 1,000 people were injured. More than 500 commercial buildings were.
Jefe, hay una mujer en la recepción exigiendo verte. Está haciendo un escándalo. Está pidiendo $1 millón. Es ella.
Ay,
Pedro, por favor, te lo suplico. Pide a gente que me deje volver a la familia Gómez. Por favor. Ahora solo soy una conserje y no encuentro ningún trabajo.
Tranquilo, jefe. Mientras estés fuera, me aseguraré de que la señora Fiona llegue a su cita prenatal. Tengo seguridad extra. Ni un solo cabello estará desprotegido.
Fiona, todo es por tu culpa.
La futura señora de la familia Gómez se quedará todo el dinero que quiera. Todo el mundo bailando de pieza. Regálenos la vueltecita, la vueltecita. Todo el mundo con la vueltecita, compadre. Póngase a bailar. Y el total de la música. Totalmente vivo desde León, Guanajuato, México. La compra y compra. Compadre, cálmese, cálmese. Eso, ¿verdad? Vamos a disfrutar de la fiesta, primo. Guarda tu aviso de parte de los novios. Órale, pues. Un aviso de parte de los novios. Dice por ahí. Todo el mundo bailando de fiesta. Regálenos la vueltecita, la vueltecita. Todo el mundo con la vueltecita, compadre. Empieza a bailar y a disfrutar de la música. Totalmente en vivo desde León, Guanajuato, México. La compra y compra. Hombre, cálmese, cálmese. Empieza a bailar. Vamos a disfrutar de la fiesta, primo. A ver, un atento aviso de parte de los novios. Un aviso de parte de los novios. Dice por ahí que la persona que se pelee va a tener que pagar los gastos y los daños que ocasione.
Guys, so I stream.